This evening, let's explore ego death, panic, and meditation. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. This is the Lama you are looking for. This evening, we could chant and meditate and enjoy a lesson or two. But first, if you love Star Wars and you wish to meditate as transformatively as Yoda learned to do on Dagobah under the guidance of Qui-Gon Jinn, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. If at any point during this live stream you have any questions, do not be shy. Let me rephrase that. If you have any questions about meditation or philosophy, or even chanting, do not be shy. Simply type your questions in the chat window on the right-hand side of the screen. However, if you're watching a replay, you'll want to type your questions in the comment area below the video. S on Reddit posted, "Guide me a bit." S wrote, "I'm 18, and when I was 16, I somehow got a glimpse of Krishna consciousness. Basically, the death of the ego accompanied by tears, etc. I did not have much knowledge of this stuff beforehand, so I spiraled into a weird state full of fear and emptiness. My memory is faded, but I remember doing things to get my old attachments back and wanting all my desires back, as I probably felt very empty without them. As time passed, I did get all my desires back and my attachments back, and now I feel whole again. Recently, I've begun to feel meditative once again. I feel very content these days. All my personal desires have been diminished, and a strong desire to do good for others has started to grow over the last few weeks. But I still have a lot of vices and addictions. Is there anything I can do going forward so that I can avoid the same spiral?" About 6 days ago, I responded, "I've seen Olympic divers plummet in a controlled and graceful manner from ridiculously high platforms, and then emerging from the chlorinated waters minutes later, beaming and eager to repeat their performance. But what if it was me or you upon such a platform with no intention of diving nor training to do so? Simply up there to admire the breathtaking view and all its pulse-pounding glory. Intoxicated in equal parts by the long climb up and the spectacular vista. We could be so preoccupied with taking in the view and reeling from our exertion that we stumble and fall. I dare say our descent would be markedly different from that of the Olympians. Similarly, there are many contemplative techniques which, when torn from the context of the other elements of a particular spiritual system, could create analogues of ego death, frightening and disorienting. Just as a bird requires both its wings to take to the skies, likewise perceptive mindfulness, releasing meditation, and heartfelt empathy must be practiced in counterpoint if we're to traverse meditation's path in a truly sustainable manner." Let's take less than a minute to deal with housekeeping. Every 12 hours, broadcast a live meditation class without any ads other than this. With your help, this channel could come to support the next generation of nuns, monks, yogis, lamas, and even brick-and-mortar meditation centers, each replete with a resident teacher and their apprentice. If this speaks to you, and you'd like to help out even for as little as the cost of 1 cup of coffee a month, then use your smartphone's camera to capture this QR code. Or if you're old school, simply click the link in the description area below the video. I need to take a moment to blow my nose. Let's warm up our neural pathways responsible for empathy and enthusiasm by performing a brief chant of bodhicitta and refuge. May I liberate all beings by relying on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. May I liberate all beings by relying on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. May I liberate all beings by relying on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. Let's chant the Heart of Wisdom Sutra, replete with adaptations and amplifications. It is said that Quan Chi Yun Pu saw an archetype of enlightened compassion, while moving in the deep peace of perfect understanding. Shed light on love, have aggregates, and found them equally empty. After this realization, she made peace with all pain. So, let's bear this in mind. The purpose of meditation is not to get rid of all pain. It's to make peace with whatever pierces our sphere of perception. Now, what do we mean by emptiness? Well, we can't take it literally, for if we do, we'll wind up either practicing skullduggery or superstition. Neither is very good. So we have to approach it figuratively. And that only makes sense within the context of the dance of mindfulness and meditation. The key to practicing mindfulness is to mentally recite "notice this" during each inhalation. And the key to meditation is to mentally recite "relaxing" during each exhalation. Why do that? Every inhalation accesses our sympathetic nervous system, which is wired for sensory acuity, allowing us to notice the external and the internal, the physical and the mental, the pleasurable and the painful, the interesting and the boring, the glorious and the grotesque. when we do so, when we notice these things vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and mentally, and spontaneously, then we come to feel that during meditation, the only label we need ever use is simply the pronoun this. That, of course, begs the question, what is one to do with all the stuff one notices? Every time we exhale, we access our parasympathetic nervous system, which is wired for both physical relaxation as well as mental release. We could find ourselves releasing our resistance to the presence of what we hate. We could find ourselves releasing our resistance to the absence of that which we crave. We could even find ourselves resisting the loss of that to which we cling. But what has that to do with the metaphor of emptiness, or the simile of emptiness? Every time we relax into our exhalation, we wind up letting go of whatever it is we notice during our inhalation, as if it was as non-graspable as a vast, empty void. Now, a simile is only as effective as it is relatable. So, what is a real-world example of a non-graspable, vast, empty void? How about the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although could be tantalizing to the eye, is intangible to the hand? There you go. Mystery solved. Emptiness is just a figure of speech to describe the physiological experience latent within every exhalation. There you go. Bob's your uncle. Let's continue with our chanting. Listen, Shori Pudra, form as emptiness, emptiness is form. Form does not differ from emptiness, emptiness does not differ from form. The same is true with feelings, appraisal, impulse, and awareness. So these five, form, feeling, appraisal, impulse, and awareness, make up the five aggregates. And there's nothing mystical or magical about them. They're just one of many ways of carving up our experience. Together. Listen, Shori Budra, phenomena are marked with emptiness. They are neither produced nor destroyed, neither corrupted nor purified, neither increasing nor decreasing. Therefore in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no appraisal, no impulse and no awareness that once perceived cannot be released. No sensation, no flavor, no sound, no sight, no phenomena that once perceived cannot be released. No body, no tongue, no nose, no ears, no eyes, no mind, no that once perceived cannot be released. No feeling, no tasting, no smelling, no hearing, no seeing, no noticing that once perceived cannot be released. No interdependent origins and no extinction of them from confusion to aging and death that once perceived cannot be released. No stress, no exacerbation, no liberation, no path, no understanding, no attainment that once perceived cannot be released. So this syntax I call inferential and inferential double negative. Kind of like when a stuffed shirt in Washington says, "Oh, well, I don't disagree with that." It's lame, it's clunky, but it's been used by rhetoricists since time immemorial. Whatever we notice, we can release it through the cunning use of the various cycles of breath and their effects upon our autonomic nervous system. Let's continue. Because there is no attainment that once perceived cannot be released, the Bodhisattva archetypes of enlightenment supported. By the perfection of understanding, find no obstacles for their minds that once perceived cannot be released. Having no obstacles that once perceived cannot but release, they transcend the tyranny of fear, liberating themselves forever from the tyranny of illusion and realizing perfect nirvana. So, we're not saying there's no obstacles. We're saying whatever obstacle you notice, you can release it. But that doesn't mean by releasing it, the obstacle goes away. It means we are a little bit less neurotic about it. We still feel it, we still feel our reactions, but it's no longer tearing us apart. Let's continue. All Buddhas of the past, present, and future, thanks to this perfect understanding, arrive at full right and universal enlightenment. Therefore, one should know that perfect understanding is like a great mantra, is like an unequaled mantra. The destroyer of all suffering, the incorruptible truth. A mantra prajnaparamita's perfect understanding could therefore be proclaimed. This is the mantra Gate Gate Mara Gate Para Sangate Buddhi Swaha. May also notice, relax, and release that we go completely and perfectly go to enlightenment. And now it's time to meditate. When we gaze upon this contemplative notation, in the bottom right-hand corner, we read one set of 256 rounds. How can we count that on just 8 fingers and 2 thumbs? Let's explore that for a moment. Consider, if you will, your left hand. Upon each finger there are 3 sets of creases and a tip. So upon each finger you can count to 4, and since 4 times 4 is 16, Bob's your uncle. I recommend advancing your left thumb during each inhalation. And so, faster than normal, we could count 1 round of breath, 2 rounds of breath, 3 rounds of breath, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. But you might ask, what is a round of breath? That would be 1 in-breath followed by an out-breath. That's a round, also known as a cycle. And now that we know how to count rounds, we can count sets. So our first set of 16 rounds, our second set of 16 rounds, our third set of 16 rounds, and so forth until eventually we come to 16 sets of 16 rounds, and your calculator on your smartphone will tell you that's 256. Do that twice, and that's approximately an hour. So what I recommend for people is that if they start off with just 1 or 2 sets of 16 rounds the first week, and then the second week, allow me to rephrase that, 1 or 2 sets of 16 rounds every 12 hours. The second week, you can bump that up to 4 sets of 16 rounds. And within 16 weeks, I guess I should amend that. And by your third week, you could be up to 6 sets of 16 rounds. The week after that, 8 sets of 16 rounds. And so you get the idea. Within 16 weeks, by the end of the 16th week, you could be comfortable with meditating for an hour twice daily. When you're comfortable and it's easy, huge things happen. Now, because you're taking a gradual approach, there's less of a freak out in your own body, in your own mind, in your pets, in your partner, and that's always a good thing. Let's begin by playing with 4 primary contemplations of Buddhism. These are rhetorical questions. How could this feel stressful? We take our personal aversion to whatever stress we're experiencing, and we turn it from selfish aversion into universal compassion. All being stress, may I soothe. We come to our second rhetorical questions. How could this never last? And now we train in letting go. How could this not be me? Now let's kick back with, notice this relaxing. This next set of contemplations is inspired by the writings of Zen Master Dogen. Notice form, relaxing. That form is just a fancy word for body. Notice breath, relaxing. Notice mind, relaxing. Notice me, relaxing. Let's return to notice this, relaxing. Well, that's weird. Oh. This set of contemplations is inspired by Bodhidharma's outline of practice. Let's seal this practice with some chanting. May each being take auspicious rebirth, master the Buddha's path, and then help all others do likewise. May all beings practice of kind communication, conduct, and calmness for spontaneous and uncontrived. May everyone be free from stress, may everyone be happy. May no one be separated from the happiness. May everyone have balance from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging freed. If you feel I have earned it, please type something in the chat window, give this live stream a thumbs up, and share it on social media. In approximately 11¼ hours, we could return to explore or consider a teacher's limitations, as well as chant and meditate some more. Until then, may you and yours be happy and healthy. And if you are as geeky as me, this is the way.